and removes women's ability to feel one of the most natural pleasures. It robs them of their natural pleasures, and it can even kill them.
This is very deceptive. You see, female genital circumcision is known medically as clitoral hood reduction. Now this procedure does not rob women from sexual pleasure, and it definitely does not kill them.
What kind of irresponsible, morally immature, criminally irresponsible moron addresses a subject as serious as FGM in such a shallow and naive way? What kind of person does that?
In fact, it is a procedure that is endorsed by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. They even marketed it as vaginal rejuvenation.
Wait a minute, what did you say?
And the procedure is available in the United States.
I really don't want to be insulting, but I don't believe Farid is dumb enough to not realize what vaginal rejuvenation means and what procedure here he is referring to. Rejuvenation comes from young again, becoming young again. And by the way, the procedure of clitoral reduction or clitoral hood reduction is seen by the World Health Organization as female genital mutilation. And it is also clearly explained, even on the page that Farid himself shows here on the screen, that this is a risky procedure. There is a risk of bleeding, hematoma, infection, nerve damage, and under-resection or over-resection. If an adult does this with their own will, that is up to them. If you do this to a little child for no reason at all, except that this is a religious recommendation, then you are mutilating a person and putting them at risk, possibly destroying their life. What the hell is this guy thinking? I mean, we are just starting, and look at the horrible logic, the very terrible apologetics here.
Next, the castration of slaves.
So this is the map of FGM, and this is a map of the Muslim world. They have some differences. Let's see. They have FGM in India, but as we all know, India is not a Muslim country. It just has 200 million Muslims. So the only exception, real exception, is Argentina. That is not part of the Muslim world. And let's see what they say, why they do that. They said that if you hadn't been cut, you'd go with many men, become a bad wife, and look for other husbands. She recalls her grandmother telling her. That's why in the past it was cut, so that women would have a single husband until they died. Mrs. Guasmi Mama says. But how cutting the clitoris of a woman stays with one husband? How those two are connected? Yeah, because you cut the ability of women to feel joy in sex. That is the real reason of FGM. Further objectify women. It's not because we are valuable. Isn't that right? You scientist. Is hijab oppression? Muslim kid responds.
You're a Muslim, right?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Tell me this, why do you guys oppress women by having them wear the hijab?
Give me your phone, please.
My phone, okay.
Thank you. Why are you oppressing your phone with this case?
I'm not oppressing my phone, I'm actually protecting it because it's valuable.
Aha! You see, Allah's not oppressing us to wear the hijab. He's protecting us because we're valuable.
Okay, today we will investigate how Allah protects women because they are valuable. Okay, let's see.
Immediate complications include severe pain, shock, hemorrhage, tetanus or infection, urine retention, ulceration of the genital region and injury to adjacent tissue, wound infection, urinary infection, fever, and septicemia. Hemorrhage and infection can be severe enough to cause death. Long-term consequences include complications during childbirth, anemia, the formation of cysts and abscesses, keloid scar formation, damage to the urethra resulting in urinary incontinence, dyspareunia, sexual dysfunction, hypersensitivity of the genital area, and increased risk of HIV transmission, as well as psychological effects. Infibulation, or type 3 FGM, may cause complete vaginal obstruction resulting in the accumulation of menstrual flow in the vagina and uterus. Infibulation creates a physical barrier to sexual intercourse and childbirth. An infibulated woman therefore has to undergo gradual dilation of the vaginal opening before sexual intercourse can take place. Often, infibulated women are cut open on the first night of marriage to enable the husband to be intimate with his wife. At childbirth, many women also have to be cut again because the vaginal opening is too small to allow for the passage of a baby. Infibulation is also linked to menstrual and urination disorders, recurrent bladder and urinary tract infections, fistulae and infertility. What are the psychological effects of FGM? FGM may have lasting effects on women and girls who undergo FGM. The psychological stress of the procedure may trigger behavioral disturbances in children, closely linked to loss of trust and confidence in caregivers. In the longer term, women may suffer feelings of anxiety and depression. Sexual dysfunction may also contribute to marital conflicts or divorce.
Okay, now let's see the unescapable conclusion. The maps prove the undeniable connection of FGM to Islam. FGM is by no doubt severely harmful. So it makes little difference if Allah truly intended FGM or by mere fail of communication He caused FGM. Islam is harmful to women in this way. And whoever has some intelligence understands that this is a conclusive disproof of Islam. No intelligent God can do that. There is no way Islam is from God. And of course, that's just a speck in the desert of Islamic failures.
Female genital circumcision is known medically as clitoral hood reduction. Now this procedure does not rob women from sexual pleasure, and it definitely does not kill them.
My friend, if you had the slightest intellectual respect for yourself, you should have, after this, you should have taken your channel down. Not only you, and EFDawah. Seriously. Standing in front of a camera and making this kind of statement. I mean, unless you are crazy, you are a crazy person, in other words. My friend, what can I say, my friend? That's unbelievable. What can I say?
You may ask, are there any evidences that Islam condemns female genital mutilation? Of course, I say yes. And Ridvan is aware of this. Ridvan is quoting a hadith that says so right here in the same video.
A woman used to perform circumcision in Medina. The Prophet said to her, "Do not cut severely, as that is better for a woman and more desirable for a husband." I didn't fall asleep. I almost fell asleep. No, I didn't fall asleep, no.
Next, the castration of slaves.
Okay, in this part, Farid is lying and dishonest. Nobody's that dumb. Okay, nobody. Especially this guy who supposedly knows the hadith. What was his statement? Islam condemns FGM. First of all, because of the passage AP read. Let's read that again. A woman used to perform circumcision in Medina. The Prophet said to her, "Do not cut severely." Is that condemning? No, it isn't, Farid. But let's see what Sunni Islam actually believes about FGM.
The various schools of Islamic jurisprudence have expressed differing views on FGM. The Hanafi and Hanbali schools of Islamic jurisprudence view it as makrumah for women, noble, as opposed to obligatory. The Maliki and Shafi'i schools do not differentiate its ruling from that of male circumcision. the former considering it recommended and not obligatory, whilst for the latter, it is obligatory. Other scholars say it has no justification at all. Egyptian scholars such as Muhammad Amara and Muhammad Salim Alewa argue that FGM is not an Islamic practice and is not endorsed by Islamic jurisprudence. In May 2012, it was reported that the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt was working to decriminalize FGM. According to reporter Marais Tadros, they offered to circumcise women for a nominal fee as part of their community services, a move that threatens to reverse decades of local struggle against the harmful practice. Many of the brothers argue that while it is not mandatory, it is nevertheless mukarama, preferable, pleasing in the eyes of God.
Okay, and that is the truth. You liar. That is the truth. You liar. This guy knows that, certainly. But he chose to lie in such a serious matter that might even result to the death of people and cutting women the ability to feel joy in sex. Imagine that, guys. And this guy in this subject chose to lie. This is criminally irresponsible behavior. Okay. And while you are investigating hadiths, Farid Responds, you forgot to mention this hadith, although you know it. But you didn't have time, eh? Let's go to the next subject. Let's see this hadith. So, in this authentic hadith, by the way, and the previous was authentic. So, all these scholars that say those are not authentic, yes, they are. It's Sahih Muslim. So, in this hadith, Muslims were wondering when bath is obligatory. It's obligatory. Even going to do a bath is obligatory in Islam. What kind of sick dictatorship are you trying to bring to this world? Anyway, so Muhammad said, and the circumcised parts touch each other, a bath becomes obligatory. So he says, when the circumcised part of a woman touches the circumcised part of a man, a bath becomes obligatory. So there are passages in Islamic scriptures implying that circumcision, if not obligatory, certainly noble in the eyes of Allah. But all that doesn't matter, my friend, because as I said, whether Allah truly wishes circumcision or he brought circumcision because he cannot communicate, there is no difference. What is the difference? Still, Islam brings FGM. As for you, Farid Responds, are those your refutations? Are you serious, my friend? Are you serious, my friend? Those were the refutations that Muslims are telling us, that Farid refuted everybody. Are you serious, my friend? My friend, you are a circus. You are a circus, my friend. You are not just stupid in criminal magnitudes, you are also a blunt liar, Farid. Okay, now that you spent the 2 minutes in FGM, you responded. Look, Farid, my name is Socrates' son. The mere fact that this level of stupidity, it was thought by Muslims, some kind of hero refutations, it insults me personally, my friend. So, I will give you, my friend, the chance to take down your channel, because that's just the start. The amount of humiliation I will inflict on you. Okay, it's your choice, my friend. You can stop now that everybody still thinks you are a hero. Before everybody sees who you actually are. Okay, Farid? Ciao, ciao.